The Supreme Court chickens out, rejecting the Texas lawsuit against allegedly corrupt swing states for unconstitutional election practices and changes in their process that I told you about all last week. And the Electoral College meets today, allegedly, right, Monday, to cast votes for the president. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. Monday, December 14th, 2020. Stay tuned for hour two. But first, Hake news, not fake news. The Supreme Court chokes, of course. Revolver News reports that the Supreme Court denies Texas's so-called last-ditch effort to overturn the purported election results in 4 battleground states that allegedly voted for Joe Biden, according to the apparently far-left SCOTUS blog on Twitter. The supposedly nonpartisan reporter, perhaps her name is Amy Howe, writes, in a very brief order, the court says that the Texas lacks Article 3 standing to sue other states over how they conduct their own elections. In layperson's words, the state has no valid interest under the Constitution in attempting to police other states' voting procedures. A dissenting statement from Justice Alito, joined by Clarence Thomas, says that the court is obligated to take up the case, which falls in the Supreme Court's original jurisdiction. Alito wrote that he would grant no other relief, which I guess means he wouldn't stop the election right off the bat, and express no view on any other issue related to the case. Revolver News says that Trump unloads on SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the United States. Absurd for the court to refuse standing. They chickened out. Our real President Donald Trump tweeted, the fact that the Supreme Court wouldn't find standing in an original jurisdiction matter between multiple states and including the President of the United States is absurd. It is enumerated in the Constitution. They just chickened out and didn't want to rule on the merits of the case. So bad for our country, he tweeted. The Electoral College is to meet on Monday today to cast votes for the president, according to the Epoch Times. Members of the Electoral College due to convene in states across the country today, casting votes for the next U.S. president, purportedly, right? In light of claims of election fraud, Trump has called on Republican state legislators to appoint their own electors. The votes cast on Monday will be sent to Congress to be officially counted January 6th, the final stage of the election process. Once the Electoral College vote is complete, one of the last avenues for a potential Trump victory would be to convince Congress not to certify the count, paving the way for House lawmakers to cast votes for president and those in the Senate for the vice president. Under such a scenario, each state gets one vote, and the GOP having a majority in each chamber of the states, purportedly. Federal law allows individual lawmakers to challenge the state's electoral votes, which prompts both the House Representatives and the Senate to debate the objections before voting on whether to sustain them. Representative Mo Brooks, a Republican from Alabama, has vowed to file challenges when the Congress reviews the vote next month. We have a superior role under the Constitution than the Supreme Court even does, than any federal court judge does, than any state court judge does, Mo Brooks told the New York Slimes. What we say goes. That's the final verdict. Nice. Attention on January 6th is sure to be focused on Vice President Mike Pence, who will be in charge of tallying the Electoral College votes and overseeing any objections. If objections are filed, each chamber would have 2 hours to debate on the matter, and for the Electoral College votes to be rejected, Democrat-controlled House and the Republican-controlled Senate would have to agree. The Epoch Times says that the Trump legal team is still planning to file new lawsuits in the coming days. Interesting. And Trump tweeted on Sunday that swing states that have found massive voter fraud, which is all of them, cannot legally certify these votes as complete and correct without committing a severely punishable crime. That's what he tweeted in a series of tweets on Twitter. The president listed types of election fraud he believes allegedly occurred in a number of contested states. Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Georgia cannot be certified, he says. I am James Hake.